We are going to be getting a massive raid day in the month of January, and you do not want to miss out on this because you will be able to get the fusion forms of Kyurem, and they are some of the most powerful Pokemon in the game. And I'm going to be talking about this raid day in this video. Let's get right into it. Alright, what's happening everyone? Jinsula here with a brand new Pokemon GO video. I hope your day is going really well, and let's dive right into it. So, in the month of January, specifically on January 10th, we are going to be getting a raid day featuring the fusion forms of Kyurem. And this raid day is actually going to be featuring 4 different encounters, which are going to be rotating around the clock. So it's going to be a very unique raid day compared to what we typically get, but the rewards are substantial, because on top of you being able to possibly get yourself high IV shinies for 2 very powerful Pokemon, you will also be able to get fusion energy for 2 of the most powerful Pokemon in the game and for the foreseeable future. And they are, of course, Black Kyurem and White Kyurem. They are the 2 fusion forms of the legendary Pokemon Kyurem, and you will have an opportunity to get them because fusion energy for these fused Pokemon are going to be available. So let's talk about the details for this raid day, and then afterwards I'm going to talk a little bit more about the fusion forms of Kyurem. Kyurem Fusion Raid Day is going to be happening on January 10 from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. local time. And as you can see, for the featured Pokemon for this event, we're going to have Reshiram, Zekrom, White Kyurem, as well as Black Kyurem. And yes, you will be able to get all 4 of these during this one raid day. Now, during this event, we're going to see the following event bonuses. The featured Pokemon are obviously going to be appearing in raids, but you'll also be able to get 5 additional free raid passes from spinning gym photo discs for a total of 6 for that day. And then Shiny Reshiram, Shiny Zekrom, as well as Shiny Kyurem are going to have an increased chance of being encountered. And then of course, you're going to have the remote raid limit increased to 20. These are very typical event bonuses for raid days, so nothing new or exciting there. But of course, just like with every single raid day, there's also going to be a purchasable event ticket, and it's going to give you 8 additional raid passes from spinning gym photo discs for a total of 14, and then you're going to have an increased chance to get Rare Candy XL from raid battles. And then you're also going to get 50% more experience from raids, which is actually quite important right now because of the new level cap, and then you're going to double the amount of Stardust that you're going to get. Now, like I mentioned, both Reshiram and Zekrom are also going to be appearing in raids, but you will also be able to encounter Black Kyurem and White Kyurem. And if you were to defeat White Kyurem and Black Kyurem, you're also going to be able to get the fusion energy for both of these Pokemon, as well as encounters with Kyurem itself. And the way that it's going to work is that during this event, these bosses are going to alternate each half hour. So what that means is that if you're aiming to get one of these specific Pokemon, then they will be appearing, but it's not going to be throughout the entire event. You're going to have to wait till the next time it appears, and it does look like it's going to be one specific boss every single 30 minutes, and maybe that could be a good thing, or it could be something that will frustrate players. We really do not know, but when this event kicks off, we're gonna have to wait and see how this all unfolds. Alright, so why is this raid day so important? Well, if you think about all the raiding content within the month of December that we've been having for the end of this year, we of course have been getting the Pokemon that are involved with getting the fusion forms of Kyurem. We of course started off the month of December with Kyurem itself, and then of course we have Reshiram right now, and then we're going to be getting Zekrom at the end of the month. And the reason why Niantic is bringing these 3 Pokemon is because they were originally introduced with the Go Tour event earlier this year. And that was probably a huge game changer because the fusion forms of Kyurem are absolutely phenomenal. They are 2 of the most powerful Pokemon in the game, and I do predict they are going to continue to be some of the most powerful Pokemon for the foreseeable future. That's just how powerful fusion forms typically are. Right now, we only have 4 fusion form legendaries, which is of course Black Kyurem and White Kyurem, as well as Necrozma. Yeah, the 2 forms of Necrozma. But between all of the fusion forms, I find that the 2 fusion forms of Kyurem seem to be the most useful. I'm sure that can be debatable, but I do find that I end up using them the most. They're just absolutely good. And it's not just with raid battles, I think their fusion abilities are actually quite useful as well. In case you didn't know, both Black Kyurem and White Kyurem actually have adventure effects, and both of them are really good and extremely useful because they allow you to catch Pokemon quite easily, especially legendaries, which are known to be quite difficult. And then when it comes to certain encounters like the Galarian legendary birds, as well as certain Pokemon like Shadow Pokemon or Shadow legendaries, they tend to be really good, and it all kind of works out in your favor because you're probably going to be using these fusion forms as the raid counters to begin with, and then you're going to have a much easier time catching the legendary encounter because of the adventure effect, which of course does require Stardust and Candy, but I do think it's worth it because being able to catch legendaries much easier will actually allow you to have a better collection, and of course it's also going to allow you to do more raids, especially on like Wednesday raid hours or when it comes to raid days. So yeah, I think this is going to be a very important one because for you to get the fusion forms of Kyurem, it's definitely a high priority, if not just for the adventure effect, just because these two Pokemon are so incredibly powerful. In order to get the fusion forms of Kyurem, basically you need two Kyurem, and then of course you need a Zekrom and a Reshiram, and then you need to collect fusion energy for both of these fusion forms, and they will require 2 separate encounters, which is why we're getting both Black Kyurem raids and White Kyurem raids. If you want White Kyurem, you of course need White Kyurem fusion energy, and then if you want Black Kyurem, you need Black Kyurem fusion energy. And if you were to have enough of both fusion energies, then you will be able to combine your Kyurems with a Zekrom to get Black Kyurem, and then you'll be able to combine another Kyurem with a Reshiram and get yourself White Kyurem. That's basically how it works. And for a majority of people who have been playing this year, they already know this, but maybe there's some people who started playing Pokemon GO this year and they kind of feel left out because they weren't around when both of these fusion forms were released. Or maybe you were busy during the Go Tour event and you were not able to get them. I don't know what the case may be, but yeah, this is a great opportunity for you to get the fusion forms of Kyurem if you missed out this year. So yeah, this is definitely a big one, and I think it just goes to show that Niantic is starting off 2026 on the right foot because this is pretty awesome. But in any case, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely share your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about down below. Are you excited about raiding for the fusion forms of Kyurem, or do you already have yourself really good Kyurems and you're just going to be skipping this out? It's totally up to you, but yeah, definitely share those thoughts in the comment section down below and let's have a great discussion. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if it's your first time here, and also don't forget that notification bell so you know exactly when I upload videos. And real quick, let me give a shout out to every single one of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support the Jinsula channel, the best way you could do that is of course by joining my Patreon. And if you decide to become a paid Patreon member, I'm actually going to personally add you to my Pokemon GO friends list. So that means for stuff like remote raids, the friendship system, opening and sending gifts, the weekly challenges, all that good stuff. If you want to work towards forever friends with me and engage in remote trades, all that cool thing, if that is something that interests you, make sure you go and check out my Patreon. I'll put a link to it in the description below. And if you want to support my channel in a completely different way, the best way you could do that is, of course, joining me on social media. So if you go to any of the platforms you see right now on the bottom of your screen, my handle is @Jinsula and I'm on those platforms. Make sure you go over there and give me a follow. That'll be a huge help to my channel, as well as you'll have access to some exclusive content that I'm only putting up on my social media pages. And of course, you'll be able to keep up with my daily life. And before I end this video, let me quickly mention that I actually opened up an Etsy store, which means if you want to get some custom-made K-pop merch, completely designed by me, they're all available on my Etsy store. If you go to the link in the description below for my Etsy store, you're gonna find all of my cool stuff there, and maybe you'll find something that you'll really like, or maybe you'll get a gift for a friend or a loved one who is a big fan of K-pop, so definitely go and check it out. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself today, and I'll catch you in the next one.